We're about to enter the world's most progressive city.
A city we know very little about as it's hidden in rural Iowa. When we told people where we were going, we got some very mixed reviews.
People at Fairfield will call it a cult.
Definitely not a cult.
We heard about this place because it's attracted some very high-profile guests. It also has a reputation as being the epicenter of some of the most unique and controversial practices in the world. We decided to set up camp here for the week, determined to uncover the truth. What's really happening here? As complete outsiders, we managed to do the seemingly impossible.
Hello.
Hi Valerie, this is Chris.
Yeah, hi Chris.
Connect with a member of the community willing to take us deep into the heart of Maharishi Vedic City.
Might be a little bit lost. In front of me I see a big golden dome, and to the right of it I can see the Maharishi Tower of Invincibility.
I think you're at the men's dome. There's
Okay.
like a long parking lot.
Right, yeah.
And then, so if you're facing the Tower of Invincibility, the men's dome will be on your right.
Valerie agreed to meet us at the women's dome and assured us that no questions were off limits, which is good because we have a lot of them.
This is not a religion at all. We have people of all religions, no religions. But Maharishi, of course, was brought up in India. He's Hindu. Everybody that comes to the domes is an advanced meditator.
Okay.
So first you learn Transcendental Meditation on your own somewhere. It's taught in 7 steps. I started in 1971 in Kentucky when I was a student.
Oh, you can do it in Kentucky?
You can do it anywhere in the world. It's a worldwide program. So most big cities have a TM center. We're in here probably my shortest time is 5 o'clock in the afternoon to 6:30. So that's an hour and a half.
Of meditation?
Mm-hmm. That includes different things, including yogic flying.
Is that the levitating?
It's levitating, but we're not in the levitating stage. We're in the hopping stage. Maharishi, he's a scientist. You know, he had a degree in physics, so he always wants scientists around him. So everything we do gets researched in detail. So we've researched the brain waves of meditators, and they're more coherent than non-meditators, and then during the TM cities, they're even more coherent. And during liftoff with flying, even though we come back down, they're the most coherent. Maharishi wanted the strongest coherence to come out of the domes. And there's actually a formula for it. The square root of 1% of any population practicing the TM cities, including yogic flying, in group or groups close together, creates this amazing effect.
We're very firm believers in energy and karma. Is that like collective energy? Is that kind of what you think is the
collective
result of?
consciousness.
Consciousness, okay.
So everybody has a consciousness. Everything has a consciousness. Plants, animals, bugs, everything has a consciousness. Humans have a very high consciousness.
Yeah.
So when you practice these techniques, your consciousness gets more coherent, and it's a coherence which causes more positive trends in society, less negative trends.
How young can it start, or does it start? 4. So they.
But you get it's called a walking mantra or a word of wisdom, because they're too young to sit with their eyes closed and do this technique. This technique, use a mantra. Okay. It's assigned by a teacher, and when they're practicing that, they can go deep and not want to come out. So Maharishi said from 4 to 10, they can have the walking mantra where they practice it walking around.
Say that everything has a consciousness. Are most people here vegetarians then?
Most people here, I would say 99% don't eat beef or pork for whatever reason. They're higher animals. 50s in India. He taught so many people. It was a very popular type of meditation. He decided to take it to the rest of the world. Then he was looking for a university. He wanted to have a university which was based on these principles and on meditation. Parsons College, it had gone bankrupt, and so they were selling it for a good price, the right amount of land and all that. So he bought it in 1974. All the students meditate. And then they have certain courses that they can take, regular courses, all the regular college courses, but you can also take Vedic science or sustainable living or Ayurveda. He's going to be walking on some foam to hop up and down on. These domes open at 7:30 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon, 7 days a week. And it's whoever wants to come. It's not required. The more that come, the better because of the super radiance effect. We're supposed to do them all, but if you're in a hurry, you say it's better not to rush. It's better to pick one and do it.
I can do that one.
You think?
You can do that one? Good.
Yeah, I do that one at home.
The reason for it is to loosen up the stress in your physiology. So when you sit down to meditate, you tend to go deeper and more stress gets dissolved. So with TM, it's transcending. You transcend to deeper levels of the mind. And as you do that, you're bumping into little things of stress in your nervous system and they come out. Good. Well, you can go up. That's because you're young. Yeah. Flexible. Roll to side to side. To
You roll side to side?
Yeah, that's one.
Filming inside the domes is strictly prohibited, unless, of course, you're Oprah. But what we saw in there did surprise us.
What did you think of the inside of the dome?
Okay, it's really cool. I really like that.
When you stepped in there, what did it feel like?
I couldn't even hear anything through my ears, so it felt weird. I felt peaceful, like I had nothing on my mind. It felt nice.
They loved it and they were
Yeah.
so calm.
I think we'll go to the back way through campus.
What's it like being a student here?
They teach on the block system, which means that you take one course for a month and then you're done with it. And then you go to the next course. It's nice, so you can focus on one thing at a time.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
There's a few greenhouses over there. I think they belong to the university.
Organic and grown, like
No.
you can consume.
We're surrounded by regular farms. They're not organic, right?
Okay.
But in Fairfield, most people want to eat organic. So I mean, you can buy it in the stores, organic, and whatever they grow related to the university or Vedic City is organic. This building is just a field house right now, but it has a history. So in 1983, when we had the Taste of Utopia World Peace Assembly and Maharishi came, the organizers freaked out because it's like, 7,000 people are coming to Fairfield. Where is everybody going to meditate? And where's everybody going to, live? So they've dragged in a whole trailer park, which we'll pass by, 350 trailers. They created this like in a week or something, some really short amount of time. So that they filled it wall to wall with foam for the men to go in there. And then they also had the big meetings, go up the hill with Maharishi.
I saw online that a lot of the architecture is built to be eco-friendly. Does that pertain to like the dorms and everything?
The new ones, a lot of the buildings you'll see that are on campus old buildings were torn down and replaced by more eco-friendly, but not only that, it's the Vedic design houses, and I'll explain that in more detail when we get to the first building.
We're starting to piece things together, but it seems like the deeper we go, the more questions that we have. We've seen this structure now twice, and we have no idea what it is.
It's based on the principle of a sundial, actually. If you see these little circles, just by looking at it for a few minutes a day, Maharishi said, balances your physiology. Each one of these instruments does something a little different to the physiology. So say you had a problem with direction, you would want to go to that one. This is actually taken from a giant one out of sandstone in Delhi, India. The sandstone is carved steps and people can walk all the way up to the top, and it points to the North Star. It's based on Jyotish, and Jyotish is Eastern astrology. It's sort of the same a little bit to Western astrology, but it's a little different. All my life I thought I was a Leo because I was born August 14th. And I never felt like a Leo. I thought, that's wrong. So it turns out in Jyotish, I'm a Cancer, which is more me. These are all in Sanskrit. These are the planets. These are the signs of the zodiac. So the way you find out, you get somebody to do your chart, give them your time of birth, place of birth, and date of birth. Just those three things, and they can figure this very intricate chart. And it tells everything about you as a personality. Not really predict the future, it might say.
But your
how many kids you're going to have, what sex is, if you're going to get married, what's a good period for getting married, different things like that. You can see, and it's all vegetarian organic food.
Now we're talking my language.
Smells very good. What do the flags represent up there?
Just all the different countries, because we have students from a lot of different countries. Everything has to buildings have to face due east, and they do really exact measurements, so it's really due east. There's a Brahmastan in the middle. It's in the very center of the building. This is the Brahmastan of this building. And then usually in the Brahmastan, especially in the big buildings, it goes all the way up through all the floors into like a skylight area. Most of the buildings have to have either one or more kalashes, and you'll see them as we drive around, little pointy things on the top.
Yes.
And that connects the building to the energies of the universe. The Brahmastan is a silent area where you don't really use it for anything. It's not specific, like you have to have a piece of, marble there or something. You just don't use that area. This is the new leader of the movement that Maharishi appointed to be our leader, Tony Nader, who's PhD MD, and he wrote this book recently. It's on Amazon. Consciousness is All There Is. We're going to go across the street and see the Sustainable Living Building. You're better at maps than I am.
Yeah.
Hearing Valerie describe this as a movement really clicks. Students come here from all over the world to be a part of it. But how does the movement support programs that students can apply beyond Fairfield?
This is where the students they get degrees in sustainable living. You can get a bachelor's and maybe a master's, I think, have their classrooms and learn how to do it. It's also a model building, so it's completely off the grid. There's pipes under the floors, so in the winter, the water's in the floors and it gets heated by solar energy, and that's what keeps the building warm. Once you had it, you could be completely self-sufficient. So whatever happens up there with the satellites and the electricity and the water and everything, you'd be self-sufficient. Put them out in the sun to dry, and there's like 50,000 of them.
Everything's made up.
Insulates. It's all on the walls. You can't even pick it up, I bet. It's so
All right.
hard.
Oh, really?
It is.
Oh, that is
Isn't that
very
heavy?
heavy.
Calculating. So this just shows generally solar panels, wind energy, converters. The way this building is built, it is Vedic also.
All of the natural light is so vibrant that they rarely use the electricity, the lights.
So each one of these is from a different hardwood tree in America.
Imagine a writing on here.
Yeah, you can keep some.
How cool is that?
Mint is like prolific.
You were gonna add that to your pocket?
We're going to just drive past the TM Center and that Ayurvedic medical building I told you about, and then out to Vedic City. This is the TM Center where you would learn TM or the cities, or if you were a meditator, you can come on residence courses.
How did your husband get into it?
In 1992, Maharishi decided it would be good to have a political party, because we'd like to have a president that upholds all these principles. We really tried hard, and we, collected signatures every election period. You had to collect signatures for every state to get on the ballot. It's very complicated. So to make a long story short, he came with a bunch of guys to Louisville to collect signatures, so we met there. We both decided to move here because of the program.
Was it just too much effort because third parties don't usually get voted in?
We did it for 3 election cycles, and collecting signatures is really hard.
Yeah.
Like for Georgia, it was like 60,000. And then once you get all the signatures and you get them notarized or whatever you have to do, and get it on the ballot, then people don't usually vote for third parties, so you're not going to get voted in anyway.
Campus is different from Vedic City, like it's
Yeah.
kind of a separate thing.
Yeah, it's separate, but it started out in Fairfield, MIU Fairfield. And then some years later, in the early 90s, Maharishi said, it'd be nice to have a city which is based on the Vedic principles all by itself. So like 10 developers, meditating developers came out, farmland, they bought up 1,000 acres, and then people started building. If you build in Vedic City, you have to build Vedic. If you serve food to anybody like a restaurant, it has to be organic.
There was like a word that you used, and I couldn't pronounce it.
Vedic?
Stapachevedic?
Oh, that just means Vedic architecture.
Okay,
So everything
got
that
you.
we saw with the kalashes and the Brahmastan and the facing east and the fences,
Okay.
that's all Veda. I would say all meditators live in Vedic City. It's not exclusive. You don't have to, and there might be some non-meditators. So most non-meditators non-meditators don't get it, or
Wouldn't appreciate it.
yeah, they have their own mayor, city council, and they make the rules. But they use Fairfield's fire department and police department. Right. There's 350 residents now.
Oh, the grounds are very well kept.
It's amazing how they keep this grass cut so well because there's so much of it everywhere.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
It's like so much. David Lynch, you probably know about him,
yes.
the film person.
Yes.
He opened a department here.
A lot of celebrities that have passed through, like Oprah Winfrey and Jim Carrey.
There's a lot more that you don't hear about. They do pulse diagnosis, which means they feel your pulse and they can pick up where any imbalances are and aim you in the right direction. And they also do panchakarma treatments. Panchakarma means 5 treatments, where a lot of systems take out the water-based toxins in your body, like blood and other water-based things in your body. This actually sucks the toxins out of your fat cells, and they do it by using all these herbalized oils. The hotel and the Ayurvedic treatment center.
Have you had anything done here?
A long time ago.
Okay.
Probably 30 years ago.
Okay.
So this is just a nice little lobby. This is beautiful. Gem therapy here, where they take all the gems like diamonds, rubies, emeralds, sapphires. They have different properties. And they have a machine and they focus it on your different chakras.
That's what you see on the top of all the buildings.
Look, another one. You can take one home.
Yeah.
Put it in your camper bag.
We're definitely digging deeper, but Valerie's mentioned a few times that the movement is rooted in science, and since that's pretty complex, the owner of the Raj agreed to break it down for us from a health perspective.
In the 90s, this project came up about Ayurveda. Ayurveda means science of life. Ayur, body, life, and Veda means knowledge. It became available to join a project here, and this is what we have. My wife and I built this, and we opened, we planned this with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. It's an Indian traditional medicine. It's not like modern medicine. It's basically taking care of yourself, the right thing to eat, how to purify the body, and so on like that. Mind and body are connected. And emotional, mental, and physical. And they all interact with each other and influence the body. If you don't clear out and remove all the blocks that we build up as we live life, years, decades, and so on like that, if we don't remove those, it starts to impede the natural flow of intelligence. If the intelligence starts being more free in the physiology, then the health improves dramatically. The body knows how to keep itself at the right temperature. It knows how to digest food. It knows how to fight off disease. It's all these different things. You scrape your hand. We don't know how to take care of it. We can put a Band-Aid on it or some ointment, but we're not in charge of knitting that scrape back together. The self is the most subtle level of your mind, is this field of the unified field. And everything, all manifest creation, comes out of the unified field. So when you transcend, you start moving the awareness in the direction of the unified field, and you become more stable. There is a place where there's more eternal, lasting peace. And that's deep within, and science calls it the unified field, or pure consciousness. We all know 3 levels of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and sleeping, deep sleep. But there's a 4th state of called transcendental consciousness. Transcend means to go beyond. So there's a 4th state of consciousness which you can experience briefly when you meditate. And that quality it has is more peace, because you're moving from multiplicity to duality to unified field, oneness. And if there's only one, there's nowhere to go. You're already there. You're already everywhere.
How did you get involved?
Oh, I heard about it on the Johnny Carson show.
No way.
In the 60s. I saw Maharishi there, and I was saying, oh, well, this guy's pretty smart. He had something that I sort of knew I wanted to learn. And so I learned Transcendental Meditation.
Did you ever meet?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Wow, really?
I spent a lot of time with Maharishi. When Maharishi looked at you, you knew he knew everything about you. But he still cared for you.
Meditate yourself still every day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to go right now.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We now understand why visitors come from all over the world to the Raj, but we're not positive how they're able to accomplish their goals. So Olivia, that works here, agreed to explain it to us.
The Raj Health Spa in Fairfield, Iowa promotes healing and prevention of disease, and also helps people who may be coming who are very sick. And what we do is detoxes according to Ayurveda. There's one, it's called, I hope I say it right, the pizza chili, or pizza chili, and it's basically, you feel so royal because you're on this massage table and you're kind of rolling around a little bit, but basically they're hosing you down with herbalized warm oil. What Transcendental Meditation is, and all of the technologies that Maharishi Mahesh Yogi has brought us from India, it's just practical knowledge that we get to live by.
Our time with Valerie is coming to an end, and we have one last big question to ask her.
A surprise storm came up, and he was in a little glass house. We were outside in benches. It started pouring rain and lightning and thundering, so we opened the door into the little glass house. And he was in there. Oh, wow. And then the crowd pushed us forward, and we were sitting right at his feet.
Was it just surreal?
It was surreal. I felt like it was in a dream.
See the pink one? It was so cute.
It reminds me of like a movie set.
Yeah.
Do they have to have one of those above their house?
No, you don't have to. I don't live in this conservative house yet.
Who would live here?
It's just two brothers.
They're all facing east.
Oh yeah.
You don't know where we are anymore? Does it feel like a whole different world?
Yeah.
Is this a cult?
It's not a cult because people here can believe whatever they want. The TM is a scientific technique. You don't have to practice it if you don't want to. Most of the people here practice it because it has so many benefits. So it's nothing like a cult.
I am here with a student who does not want to be on camera, and we respect that, but I just want to ask you a couple of questions if possible. So what brought you here?
I found out about this place through the word of mouth of just cool people who are into consciousness and meditation.
Right.
I actually lived in the Netherlands for a little bit, and there's kind of a presence there of TM. And so I kind of just followed a train here that the Golden Domes and the Tower of Invincibility, like right outside your classroom. You're like, okay, what's going on here? Meditate once on my own, once in class before lunch, and once in the Golden Dome with everyone.
How does your life feel different compared to like where you were and then being here?
I'm so glad you asked this question. Yeah, it has been, I've struggled with depression for most of my life.
Yeah.
And this has been the most effective treatment. The food here is one of the best parts about the university. You have all of these boiled grains, which are really great. You have all of these really sustainable sources of protein. You have access to really cool Ayurvedic drinks like lassi and
What's lassi?
Lassi, oh, it's like a chilled yogurt drink with cardamom and stuff, and it like helps settle your gut.
Orange. It tastes like orange, sweet yogurt.
We've learned so much about this town and the Transcendental Meditation movement, but now it's time to shift gears. For the rest of the week, we're going solo and diving into life as true locals.
A girl that we connected with while we've been here named Olivia told us to just stop by this person's farm. It's really cool. It's very organic, and they're starting this movement about how organic farming should be, and they're rallying to get new restrictions put in place so that the things that you buy that are organic are truly organic. So it's very interesting, but we're a little nervous because we just showed up at their farm, like their home farm. And why don't you go ask?
There's a baby.
Oh my gosh,
do you see it?
Get in there.
It's a tiny baby.
You can get in the pan.
Hi.
The farm is actually under new ownership, and Rachel didn't want to be on camera. She's very nice and very helpful, and she was telling us about the organic milk here. She said it was #1 in the
It had
US.
a 5 cow rating. They do not stars, but cow rating, and they even keep the mom with the babies. I mean, it was really cool to see.
But then she also told us that downtown there's a place, Everybody's Cafe, I think, and they have a lot of the product there, and they also have organic ice cream.
Let's go.
What farm?
Organic milk.
That was the farm we were just at.
Look at all this like gluten-free stuff.
This is gluten-free. This course is good for Ayurvedic preparation.
Hold this for now.
So the farm we just saw was processed the milk from the ice cream from all the cows.
Radiance Farms.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good?
Yep.
I give it a 5 cow rating.
This also gets
20 cow rating.
Oh wow. We got invited to check out the elementary school, and we actually have somebody waiting for us right now.
This one right here.
This is your eye. And what is your name?
When is my family?
Every religion, every ethnicity, it's lovely.
So you know Sanskrit yourself?
I used to, that's a
You
long
used
time
to?
ago.
Okay.
Then they stopped it.
Instrument would you want to play?
Maybe
Drums.
drums. Metallica mostly has drums.
Kids, I think, probably meditate.
Yeah. Have all these fun things that you do, arts and crafts, robotics. Where are the robotics? Oh, there you are.
This is the boys' kind of room.
I thought it was amazing. What's your idea, Jude? I liked it, but the only part I don't like is I would be separated.
Yeah.
From Jonah.
That's the sad part. We're gonna be separated.
That's what
We don't like being separated.
The coolest part? The art room.
The art room was first.
The maker's room.
Second was the music room.
That room was cool.
Our time here is coming to an end, and it's been such an eye-opening experience. Exploring this town and the Transcendental Meditation movement has been fascinating, but it left us wondering, why were people so surprised we wanted to check it out? After doing some research, we started to understand why.
I am one of thousands of people, bright young people, who were scammed by one of the greatest con artists of our generation.
The movement was sued back in 1986 by a guy named Walter Krupinski, who brought forward a list of 40 some odd victims of people who were jumped out of windows because they believed they could fly.
The spiritual empire that he controlled, it's been valued in the billions.
I said, Maharishi, why don't we just put a 10,000 group in place? I've donated enough money. And he looked at me and he said, I have no idea if a 10,000 group would create world peace.
After listening to several stories, it's hard for us to come to an objective conclusion about this place, because not everyone that practices Transcendental Meditation is part of the broader movement. And from our experience, the people who we met who were deeply involved in TM were incredibly open about their lifestyle. Of course, as with any movement, there are extremists, but that wasn't something we encountered this week. Our experience was overwhelmingly positive. Our time here inspired us to prioritize our mental and physical health. And while TM could fit the dictionary definition of a cult in certain contexts, it truly felt like a supportive and uplifting community to be a part of. Whether it's a cult or not is for you to decide. Fairfield is different. It's not at all what we expected to find in Iowa, but that's the beauty of travel. It challenges your assumptions and forces you to see the world through someone else's lens. And that's why we'll keep exploring.